I'm gonna walk around this way and see what happens.
He needs to be plugged into the Ethernet.
Okay, is this any better?
We'll find out when the internet comes through.
Yeah. There's a window behind me now, so there's potential for. Okay, you're back on stream. It appears. Can
That's
you
good. That's a good
you
first time.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right.
I heard the news, but I mean, it's a bummer.
I assume you're talking
It's
about waypins.
yeah, way of pings.
Huge bummer. Like I
And just for like I don't know if it's more of like a fun standpoint or a like they had to deal with a lot standpoint. Maybe a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I really think it was because week one after that whole steroid debacle and like the entire team quitting, it was like this team's gonna be so bottom of the barrel and just not even have a shot. And then they pick up Spjork for this with steroids coins, and like they don't even look good with Spjork on the team. And it's like, it just looks so grim. And then they're able to get
Yeah.
Dolph. Taurus comes back, and they start playing even or taking these games against teams. And you're feeling good about them. And it's like, okay, it's a nice way to end the season. Whatever, they're not like bottom of the barrel. And then we get to this week, and it's like it's actually not like super impossible for them to make the playoffs here. And they were doing everything right. Just losing game 5 was so killer.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because then you're
It
counting on
was.
it. You're counting on an OPH sweep to even have a chance at it. Oh, but it was just. They took 8 out of
That's the weird
7.
thing too. Is like those last 3 weeks when they were actually good.
Yeah.
You could point to like one game out of the whole series where they were like, you were a few pixels away,
Yes.
or one or two plays away, and all those. So I want to give a shout out to Taurus because he popped off the uh, the last couple weeks,
I think you had to give
and
Gamma a shout out too. Him the
yeah,
past couple
looked
weeks.
looked
Gamma
good,
was fantastic.
looked good for sure. And so I mean, there are concepts of a team there. Put it that way, concepts of a team.
Yeah, but
Um,
even take your results tonight. I know they don't make playoffs, but they could take 8 out of 15 points. They win the series against HGB, who we still think, if things break their way, can contend for a title. They beat them straight up.
well, here's my thing. My main takeaway from that series: HGB is playing themselves out of contention week by week here.
All right.
They have
I
not
don't
necessarily
I don't disagree with that.
they've they've not killed it in the last. I mean, this is the time of season when you want to be sharpening up, getting into form. They've kind of done a little bit of messing around with teams they shouldn't be messing around with, and and my thing was I made two. The D tries a lot of risky stuff, and they rush back a bit, and I don't know. It feels more and more like I was sitting there thinking, okay, they're the number 3 team, and now I'm sitting there thinking they are the number 4 team quite clearly, and who knows what kind of shot they have against FWO if the seedings all played out the way you think they might.
Yeah, so I guess, do you want to talk about these potential seedings matchups now, or do you want to
Well,
finish the other series first?
let's wait. I mean, this OPH game is just about done. Let me see. I can't. Water blocked his scoreboard, but I think they're pretty much close to done.
How did
Do we have a
LBT finish up?
Do we have a general? Oh, yes, that game is done
So
because
who ended up winning that?
I literally stopped paying attention
I don't know. I'll try
because
to pull the
I
HUD.
was locked in. Misery can tell us because he was just in there.
No swag ass hotel, beach house, but close enough.
Little Airbnb action.
No, actual house. I guess. I
Oh,
don't know.
so
My
something
my
someone
dad.
owns.
Yeah, my dad knows a guy.
3-2 LBT. Hmm.
Okay. So I like that a lot actually. So right, that series was for the 2 seed, right? And LBT was +5 coming into the night. So three wins gets them the 2 seed. And
And I think those two teams are pretty interchangeable.
yep. So this 2 week stretch for LBT, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It was they play FWO last week, and then they play TMS this week. And aside from HGB, that I mean, this was the meat of their schedule, and they come out of it with 2 out of 5 against FWO after a slow start, game 1, game 2, and then they take 3 out of 5 against TMS. So to me, it's like it's these three, like number one LBT's certifiably legit, and then number two, it's like FWO, TMS, LBT. That's the serious contenders for me, right?
Yeah. If you're thinking in pie chart form,
Yeah, I think.
that's what you think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yep.
I couldn't make much heads or tails of this series. Um, it just looked like very even tag pro and very even teams, kind of not necessarily canceling each other out, but just if you have them play like 20 times, it's gonna be like 12-8 or 11-9 or 10-10. It's
Yeah.
just how
Right.
it's just how the teams were drafted.
Yeah. So OPH. Uh, I can't
OPH
see.
won that last game, so they got 4 out of 5.
Dang, we were one game away. I don't
Yeah.
want to go back to Wade Paynes. We were one game away, man. Oh, oh
Yeah, but
man.
the joke we were making is that there was a game where they put what'd they do? They like sub someone in for Dalek, and then the next game they put someone in, or they put Beast into the lineup, and like we were joking like that's a 200 IQ play from Nameless to keep way of Pings out of the playoffs by tanking a game.
All right, so if that was intentional, and I would not put it past Nameless to do that.
Captain of the
Is
season.
is he scared of Way of Pains, or is this revenge for
Well,
the
no,
beef they were having over that replay game?
I don't think it was because they wouldn't even play him anyways. So chat says Beast and JK were subs. Mueller came back by game 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Muir is back. Okay, okay.
So maybe he just did one sub for each game just to
Yeah,
keep everybody interested and involved.
I got you.
Which
Yeah,
is
I didn't realize Muir had come. That makes more sense.
yeah, I think that there was just some scheduling issues, but hey, they actually played the game. So
They did.
word to the wise for future teams that want to sit there and play games.
Does Let's talk about OPH a little bit since we're there. Does 4 out of 5 against TPO? I mean, does that give you any confidence? Selfie, I thought had a
See,
really nice series.
yeah, see, my thing is, I feel like TPO is not necessarily like what I thought they were a couple weeks ago. Like it just like I don't know if I want like I put in my notes that they dropped off a cliff, but I don't know if I want to say that quite so much. And I don't think OPH. I mean, they had a couple of good wins in there. I just don't know if they convinced me that they are all of a sudden like ready to go and beat LBT or ready to go and beat TMS. It's just kind of the way the stratified, different levels of the league works right now.
Yeah, I think they're
I mean, don't get me wrong. OPH played well enough to win those games, and they deserve to be in the playoffs. And it's just a bummer because we would have wanted to see some controversy and some hijinks go on with the extra game.
just imagine, man. Just imagine. Oh,
When you and I would have been streaming. Well, I take that back. We wouldn't have been streaming it, but it would have been a monstrous occasion.
I mean that I don't know what comes to memory, but like would that have been like the
I don't think we've
single
had any of
most
those before.
I know the single
I feel like
most momentous game like ever in a regular season. I mean, winning you're
maybe
in, losing you're out, and this is not like mid
10 minutes. Yeah,
yeah, it's not like mid
10
series
minutes.
you don't
Yeah,
know. It's a standalone 10 minutes. It'll be on its own game day. I mean the viewership numbers would have been crazy. They would have been so sick, man.
I don't think they would have been so high. They needed better markets, better media markets for the for the numbers to get better.
Quick break.
Tinder is asking if Tinder is asking if you believe in us now. I'm assuming that means LBT.
I said it, and he may have missed it. I think after this week, I said it, LBT's faced the meat of their schedule, TMS and FWO last week, and I think based on the results I've seen, it's FWO, TMS, LBT top three. Those are the teams
Yeah,
that can win the mover.
they've got the biggest sections in my pie chart. That's for sure.
You know, so if that counts as believing in you, yeah.
I mean, yeah. My belief was there, especially once they got Squeeb or whatever whatever the no, once Trapson, sorry,
Trapson,
Trapson.
yeah.
Yeah. It was there when they got Squeeb too, even though some of us weren't exactly such a fan of that draft pick.
Do you want to do? Do you want to do a
Yeah, well,
quick?
let's do what the people are here for. The season's over. Congratulations to the Furballers and the way it pings. So
Yeah,
yeah, thanks for playing. Thanks for letting us make content out of you.
yeah, no,
What do we have a general idea of what these matchups are in the first round?
no, but real quick, give us your T-shirt because we haven't touched on it yet.
Oh, number 7. This is Detroit City FC. They are the local.
It's
They are
got
the
to be on
local.
purpose this time, right?
What do you mean?
This is in fact your third number 7.
No, this is week number 7. I've looked at this. I've looked at the spreadsheet. I've got some 6s in there. I've got some 5s
No,
in
you
there.
gave us a 7 last week.
Did I?
Yeah,
What was my shirt last week?
it was a
Can't remember.
university
The
shirt, maybe.
volunteer shirt,
Oh, his volunteer shirt.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so this is number 8 then, but that's only because I'm saving number 1 and 2 for the late stages of the playoffs. You're right. The volunteering shirt, because I'm a good person, was I'm putting this in the spreadsheet now. Okay, this is good to know.
So playoff matchups, we don't know, and captains always drag their feet. So we're not going to know for a bit. It'll be a couple of days. But so here's how the standings are going to shake out. It's going to be FWO at 1. It's going to be LBT at 2. Excuse me. It'll be TMS at 3. It'll be HGB at 4. I believe OPH 5, and then TPO 6.
In reality, we just need Mr. Austin to tell us which team he's gonna pick.
True. If you want to add him on Discord, you're welcome.
Yeah, let me get in his DMs here real quick, Mr. Awesome.
I would be inclined to think that TMS is going to pick TPO, which is kind of
Yeah.
boring because it's chalk. But with how they've looked the past couple of
Okay,
weeks,
for
that's an easy.
content purposes, are are you picking TPO or OPH? Wait, you're saying you think he'd pick TPO?
100%. We just talked about how trash they've looked the past 2 weeks. I mean, they looked really bad. Now, I guess the only thing
I don't know
you
about
worry,
trash is the right word, but
I think the only thing you're worried about, the 1 week TPO looked good with this lineup was their first week against TMS. so, so is that something Mr. Austin is concerned about? Maybe.
yeah, I mean, if I had to stack those two lineups against each other, I would almost. I mean, I think TPO. I agree with Borges. I think TPO is a little bit better.
I,
I mean, it's pretty
I don't know
easy,
if I believe
even
that
if you ask me.
anymore, man. We just saw him go head to head. OPH crushed him with subs. I mean, all due respect to Beast and JK. And then, I
No,
mean,
to Beast.
I really think the only saving grace for TPO and what might save them from being pit is that they did, I think, win 2 or 3 games against TMS their first week as the new lineup, right? And that's the only thing that might give TMS pause. But to me, I mean, they're
Yeah, I mean,
demonstrably worse.
Robiny and I took care of business against WAP last night, or TPO.
Yeah.
It was me, Robiny, Tor, no, not even Taurus, Fjork, and Gamma.
Mm-hmm.
It was me and Robiny on defense. Dominant showing. Best cap I've had. I even said it in game chat. I said that's the best cap I've had in 2 years. That was a good cap.
I watched it.
It was a nice long 50-second hold.
It
Lots
reminds
of
me
missing.
that Nyquist. I don't know if you remember that Nyquist OT goal
Oh,
against Ottawa.
the overtime
Yeah.
goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just circle and
Uh,
circle and circle. Yep.
you just need some time.
Yep.
Um. So, yeah, it's tough because I don't want to. We could sit there and play the guessing game of like 4 different matchups.
I mean, we have the time. Unless you want to do like a
Yeah,
little regular season retrospective awards, that sort of thing.
I was gonna say, what do you think about awards?
Well,
Um,
I'm not changing my MVP. We know that. I
is
mean,
it Marcus?
it's Marcus. Who
Yeah,
else
is he
is it? Who
stat?
else is it?
Is he stat? I still think Hugh plays well. Um, Mr. Awesome says awesome. I can't. Do I give away? He says he's leaning blank team, but I don't know want to say if it's. I want to say if it's not
Ask if you
confirmed.
can quote him on stream. Yeah.
Can I? Can I quote that on clutch time?
I don't know if he knows what clutch time is.
That he seems like the type of guy that might not know what clutch time is. Sadly,
Yeah.
sadly.
So we get some
Um,
Tinder supporters in chat. I think that's just
see,
anti-Marcus stuff. Although, I mean,
but I'm
Marcus
not.
still don't got an argument.
So remember what I said at the very start of the season? I said Marcus is not a very good player.
I
Mr. Awesome
disagree with you.
says,
I just thought he wasn't particularly smart. I think he's
yeah,
smarter and he's freaking good, man.
yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Mr. Awesome says, of course. So Mr. Awesome and TMS can say that they are leaning towards picking a TPO.
What I said. All right.
That's very interesting.
So
Um,
would you not go Marcus for MVP then?
sorry if I'm breathing into the mic. I'm just trying to think. It is a very I don't know. Like you can look at a game where he gets 37 returns and how much of it is just like CT Crunch is saying, how much is it just running some team running into, if I ran into okay then 17 times on offense, do I give him the MVP?
Yeah, but if
I
this
mean,
was if your 37 returns was a one-time thing, and I understand he's not racking up those numbers every game, but like last week after he got the warning, like great defensive performance, barely grabbed, and then I know it's not really per his restriction, but yes, his ability to go offense and create offense, that's a huge part of his MVP case to me.
yeah, Borges brings up a good point. Like what were his stats against LBT? What were his stats like against TMS? I mean, let me look at Tag Pro League right now just to see like if it is it working. Hopefully, let's see. I mean, if it's one of
Oh,
those
I heard.
where yeah, I heard there were issues, but let me look just like cumulative before this starts. So you're looking at Gasp, Marcus 10T,
I got a spider
Squeeb
web on me. It's over.
9.77, Hugh 9.55. I mean, Hugh has 80 caps, man,
And
and
don't get me wrong, that entire
And
team's
Tinder's got
good.
and Tinder's got 77, and then it's all the way down to Selfie with 61.
Like what I mean, both those teams are good. LBT and FWO is just chock full of good players, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
So
And
I don't want
so
to
then I think
discount
about
anyone
like,
with that reasoning, right? But
yeah,
they both got good players surrounding them. Well, let me ask you this: does TMS have anyone in your mind or no?
I mean, shoot, irony if you talked about just the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Marcus LBT is the Tinder fellow team. Did they play last week? Didn't they just play last week?
yeah, they just
Was
played
it?
them. Yeah,
Yeah, it was the team you played last week.
and honestly, at certain
Um,
points, that I would say certainly LBT did a fairly good job defensively, even against Marcus in spots. Like I'm not saying that like Marcus dominated them, but I think over the whole season, like it's got to be Marcus, man. It has to be.
the surprising thing about LBT is that Squeeb is like he must be the stat patter of this group because he is number 2 in niche as well. I love a good niche. Yeah, I mean, I think
Oh
if you look
no.
just at stats, it's got to be Marcus. But
Like you watch an FWO game, and again, Jazz has made a huge difference. But it's like last 2 minutes, it's Marcus taking the game over, man. If it's in doubt, it's Marcus taking over the game to win it. And he's
yeah,
on
I
the
mean, I'm
number
not
one
going to
team
say
on the
no.
league, and it's by a wide margin that they're the number one team. Like I'm giving them the
It-
MVP, dude.
yeah, he gets the highest impact. I'm just trying to think of the other parts of the game, like the commentary, like the comms, and the game sense, and the because I mean, think about it this way: FWO has probably got the flag out a lot, and probably has the chance to dictate the game a little bit easier.
Sure, but I would also say Marcus again plays a role in that, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, and he's always hitting snipes. He's always
Always hitting snipes, dude.
it's kind of crazy. It's
It
just
is.
it's no, sorry, Beast. I got trail mix caught in my throat, and so I'm still kind of recovering. It's because it's because I'm kind of huffing the copium right here about Marcus. I think
You know. All right, so I guess
it just pains me. It pains me personally to see the person I said was not good, like one of the few people I said in the draft was not good before the season started, to say that all of a sudden he's the MVP of the league.
now
It just
go now,
hurts.
now go. All right, set MVP aside. Now go
Yeah,
OBOS, DBOS, and let's consider Marcus ineligible for
for
DBOS.
D, right? Because that's just how that works.
Yep. I think OBOS
Kind of
easy Tinder to me.
it, mm, mm,
Unless you want to throw Hugh in that conversation, which
no,
I'd be okay with.
because look at this. So think about this. Hugh has more caps on he has 3 more caps on 97 fewer grabs.
Well, he's got the MVP on defense, dude.
Yeah, and hold. Tinder does a lot more hold.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know. I need to find a way to get. I don't want all the winners to be from the same team. I guess you can get away with that by saying Trapson wins. Wow, Trapson kind of D-ball. What are the odds of this? What's the odds of
A
that?
sneaky D-ball?
Yeah, I mean he's number 2 in returns
Yeah.
and number 1 in prevent. Yep, no, Trapson is number 1 in prevent by over 1,000 seconds.
I would not have thought that, dude. That's wild.
Yeah.
But you look, and it's funny you mentioned Trapson. Like the change that came over LBT when he got on that team. I mean,
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
massive, dude.
Yeah. I mean they went from good in the mix to great.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Um. Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to Selfiano.
Yep.
Has definitely put up some strong statistics
Especially
and other
tonight was
defensive
awesome.
people in contributing. Pass has good numbers. Vic has good numbers. Well, Toity and Timo are like number 6 and 7 in D gasp, even though maybe just because they got so much time chasing the flag and getting returns just to get flags reset.
That's terrible. I would give
What can-
so I honestly think your major wars are just split between OBT and FWO.
Yeah, for now, I mean the TMS suffers from the curse of having everyone be very good and no one be individually
Great.
great.
100%. Especially when you swapped Russ out for Poet after week 3. It's like if
Yeah,
one of those two had been around the whole season, I could see one of them building a case for it. But it's just not enough
Poet's niche
minutes,
is
right?
not amazing. Poet's
Oh,
niche is just kind of like
what
it's
do you think
good,
then?
it's not amazing. Um, yeah, I mean nothing else really stands out from looking at these stats. Who's got the most key returns, the most important stat in the game? Where's key returns? It's a tie between Trapson and Marcus, and then Dalek and Vic are right behind.
The Trapson case just keeps building as we're talking, man.
I mean, who did he
I
play with
wouldn't
the
have thought
first
it.
week?
He
Who
was
did
on
he play with
footballers, man.
Oh man, you know what? Most valuable because look at what happened to the Furballers after he left, and look what happened to LBT once he joined.
That's not a
Hi,
bad
whoever's in the
argument.
background.
That's
Hi,
not a bad
whoever's in the
argument.
background.
That's a good zag.
Um, I'll zag when the others are zigging. This does. I don't think this has last week. Oh no, week 7 stats are pretty much all in.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I could see. So I could see coin flip between Tinder and maybe Hugh for OBOS, and then you throw Traps in for
Yeah,
DBOS. That sounds reasonable.
I wish I could take the first 6 weeks here because FWO was plus 31 tonight.
Whew.
That really colors the gasp probably.
You know,
Right? Isn't captive part of gasp?
I believe so. Don't quote me. I
Yeah.
haven't looked at that formula in like 7 years.
It, and he's got 40 more, and Marcus has 40 more returns than the rest.
Yeah. So
Such is life. Okay, now we can get to potentially trying to explain what could happen in these playoff series if they happen. So let's go with first, like if TMS picks TPO, that means it's HGB and OPH.
yep. So initial reaction TMS TPO. I feel pretty strongly that's a 5 game series at most in favor of TMS.
You're not gonna find any disagreements here.
Yeah, they looked so bad tonight and last week. TPO did. It's just like I don't see how they win anything.
Um, I mean, there are ways they win a game or two. Yeah, they need like their carries to carry. I think that's kind of what's been missing is like, yeah, I'd say Was is pretty good and MC is pretty good, and all of a sudden they're just kind of, you know, yeesh.
I still wonder. It's the same question when they had the original roster. It's like who's playing defense for them? Like Bubbles isn't really doing it. Josh isn't really doing it, and they can't get returns, man. And then I don't know. It's not
Yeah, I mean, TMS is just one of those teams that's going to be a hard out, like we said. You know, even
working.
even if things kind of go negatively for them in a game or two or in the first 5 minutes, it's hard to say one way or the other. Also, I'm
Yeah.
gonna catch my Larry Dilby bobblehead there. Got that
Okay.
at the game on
So
Saturday.
so I think
Go
that's a
Tigers.
pretty open and shut series. So I think HEB OPH is potentially more interesting. That still doesn't feel
Is it?
super upsettable to me.
Yeah, is it? I mean, that's kind of the thing we've noticed in this last like maybe 2 weeks ago especially. Um, so TM or
Let's look
HGB.
at
Here's the thing is though. I mean, as much as OPH just they took care of business tonight. HGB, like I said, was kind of playing themselves out of contention week by week. Like think about this. They were on the losing side of a wait, they got less points, right? 7 points uh to WAP's 8.
yes,
Am I doing my math right?
but they beat TMS 3 games to 2 last week. But then they got smoked by FWO the week prior.
Yeah, I mean, that's what kind of TMS. That's what FWO is kind of been doing to teams.
Yeah. So I honestly
I
think
just
this WAP team is like I know it's a bad like not a great loss for you to not win the series on points, but like going even with them, like that's not the worst thing in the world.
no, I think HGB really needs to take a look at what they did not only tonight but like last week as well. And it just I there are ways they can fix their game to be more competitive, especially against the teams that are going to be outplaying them, and maybe like especially against the top seed if they were to win this first series, they can easily be up on that same level. I think just by making some tweaks.
I don't know. I honestly think like when they lost PK after they picked him up, I honestly think that was a huge loss for them. And A Dog's been okay, but
Yeah, no,
I
A
thought
Dog's been good.
I thought PK brought something they're lacking right now. And
No,
it
but I
seems like
think A Dog adds a lot to the table. I'm always going to ride for my dog A Dog.
no, I hear you, but they just
He
it feels weak to me, man. They just feel weak.
what am I what am I missing in that squad? So the current version of HGB is A Dog,
Victor,
Vic, Tag Prof,
Tag Prof, and the last
and
one is Freak Wraith.
yeah, yeah. Hey, they got 3 majors players.
Yeah,
That's what I always keep hearing.
sure.
Yeah. See, here's the thing: is I wonder if it's just a matter of do they care so much about minors? Do they care so much like given the situation with Tag Prof being in is he still in playoffs? Tag Prof for majors.
He's on OBT, right? He's still around, yeah.
So I mean, in Freaks team in majors, I can't remember who, but I feel like they're still around.
I believe they are.
So I mean, part of that is probably just getting burnt out by too much tag pro,
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It just
And
pains me because I think that team is so capable.
what's Freak on IST? They've been okay. So
Regardless,
maybe Freak's on
hey, this isn't a major show. This is a minor show.
IST. True. Um, but so like consider OPH's roster now, right? Because it's Selfie who just played O tonight. What's fantastic? They'll get Dalek back. They have, I think, P Wings is their other O player,
No,
and then
no, no,
who's their
no,
last D
no.
player, dude? Mueller, right?
Def, Definitely, yeah. Mueller's is definitely there. I don't think it's
Because it used to be
P
P, and
Wings.
then it was P Wings after that, wasn't it?
Something's not feeling
Oh, it's
right.
face.
Yeah,
It's face.
face.
It's face. Thank
Yes, I was gonna say hard to say. Big bit of an upgrade there.
you. That full roster, and we saw them with subs tonight take it to TPO pretty good. Like that full roster, there's some names that scare you. If
Uh,
Selfie's
this
in the
one,
form that he was in tonight, like now suddenly it's like, okay, well Dalla can that pop off? Selfie's playing good on offense, and it's like I see
that
something
one goes six. That one
there.
goes
Yeah,
six. That one goes. I mean, it's much more even. And you know what? I think I hate to say this about HGB, but it feels like they could. They, that it's not that they have weak mentals, but I just have like a feeling in my head that like we could see them and they're like, oh, they're losing in five because things just aren't clicking for them.
yep.
Like
Um,
just one. It's just like one of those inexplicable things that happens in the playoffs.
no,
I
I
mean, it
do
could happen to
think.
anyone. I mean, I don't think it would happen to FDWO, but it very well could. That first week they play playoffs. You never know.
Yep. So I do think HEB will take it. I think to your point, it will be more of a six game series. We're not going to see a sweeper five.
Yeah,
It's just I think OPH at full power is actually like that's a solid roster with a lot of good names, and then
you're talking like a 60-40 or a 55-45 situation in terms of who
yeah,
wins.
for sure. Like I don't think it's a blow up by any stretch. You know,
I'm trying to
I
think of
think
what I should do with like a clutch time sponsored contest for these playoffs. Maybe like a guess every series and number of games, and the winner gets blank maybe from a prize pool. Maybe like a little $10 from me or something.
yeah, that's cool.
Would there be multiple winners in that? Let's think. There are how many 7 games in playoffs then?
What
We've got
maybe
first two rounds. Oh,
maybe
there's 5 games.
the winner we could send a little clutch time T-shirt.
Well, maybe a clutch time cameo. We don't have. Well, do we have the resources for a T-shirt?
Yeah, I could whip up a T-shirt.
Oh, we should have had a clutch. Do we have a logo? We should have had clutch time shirts made.
So my thought was take the logo that's on the stream, shrink it down, top left, like like where a pocket
Our
T would be.
faces. We put our faces on someone else's shirt. This is fantastic. I love this already.
No, I meant the
I'm just doing
sweat,
this.
dude.
I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this.
Join MLTP. Thumbs up. I don't know. We'll workshop that.
I would put my face on a stranger's shirt in a heartbeat if it was going to a good cause.
Oh man. All right. So assume it's HCB and TMS that advance, which I think is the most likely outcome.
Yeah, I'd say it's most likely. And then FWO picks HGB,
100%. And we get an LBD
and
TMS rematch,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good, I tell you what.
which I think I still take LBT the win, and then I think it's LBT FWO on the mover, dude.
Man, chalk feels wrong,
But I think it's right.
but I wonder if like the last few seasons, just because I've not paid attention to like the seats. Let's go back to hub number 35 here. Let's have some fun.
As far as
Let's go to hub.
chalk versus not.
Like yeah, like how often does chalk actually go through it?
Someone was mentioning earlier there was a season in recent memory where like all or maybe not all, but a good number of the lower seed teams won their first round matchup.
Yeah, so last year there were 12 minors teams last season, and it was chalk.
Yep.
And except for the Mooper was 3 and 4, which is technically I think more possible this time around, just because HGB and TMS are capable of making the Mooper on any take everything else out of it. Just for funsies, let's put about hub 34. Just to have some fun. We should just have a one single like we need a pinned post with every single hub, from
Yeah.
whenever they started to now.
Yeah, so
Miners
Nameless does bring up
playoffs.
minors at 7 and 8. Not that long ago, because I feel like I remember that matchup.
Uh,
Late
so
20s is
uh,
probably.
so we're on 36, right?
Yes. Yep.
So in 34, it was 1, 2, 3, and 5 in the final four,
So again,
Foci 4,
roughly chalk, right?
and then 2 and 5. So this is a really bad sign for FWO. I think they should have tried to lose some games tonight.
who is
Um,
who's FWO's biggest threat to you, dude?
Well, of course it's TMS because who's the only team to have beaten them in a single series?
Well, post Jazz, no one. But yes,
Yeah,
I get your
exactly.
point.
I mean, who's to say?
I just have visions, and this is probably going to turn
Yeah,
out
I just
wrong.
hate. I need some fun out of this playoffs. Like, no disrespect to either of those two teams at the top because they're very good. Um,
Season 20. Oh my god.
I like every single person involved in these playoffs. Now I'm trying to think. Maybe do I dislike any single person left? I don't think so. I mean, there's only a handful of people I disliked in the first place, but no, like everyone, I think everyone's got a chance. I mean, just the chances are very slim for some teams and pretty high for some others.
You know,
This
I would
doesn't
I
this
would
doesn't feel
love
like a
to
situation
see.
where like we can't sit there and pencil in LBT right now in FWO and just say that's guaranteed. No one else has a shot. Like they're if teams make the changes they think they should, I think they can make. And I'll offer my coaching up for a small fee, uh, with some performance-based incentives. I must add, um, anything's possible.
Yeah,
We're
for
forgetting
sure.
about playoff tag prof. We're forgetting about playoff tag
True.
prof.
And then I've always thought take ban and was always super underutilized in playoff series. Like I think there's room to strategize in pick ban that people don't really lean into.
Is it? I
I
see,
think
but
that
I
could
don't.
make
I
a huge
couldn't. You and
difference.
I couldn't tell each other like who's good on a specific map.
No, but I think that
Not
it's
off the
not
top of the
just
head.
it's not just that, but like when I would pick ban for playoffs, it was always yes. You go look at the EUs, and it's like who'd they play on what map? Do we feel good about it? What do we feel good about? And that's kind of the extent of the analysis. I think there's more room there to strategize. Um, you
There have
know,
been a lot of playoff series in the last 10 years, man, or
bald.
10 years, seven
Eagle
years,
Eagles theory was always you put your
and
good
Capute's.
maps.
Yeah,
Yeah, you always put your good maps first because you're trying to you're trying to win. Obviously, there's no point trying to save your good games, right? Which I get to an
yeah.
extent. But it really feels like there's been a vacuum in terms of like pick ban meta, and it feels like there's more analysis that can be done as to what makes a team good on a style of map rather than maybe just the map in general. Like
My
I've
my
always,
theory is always my theory is always like, okay, it's a 7 game series, right? You put your best map at like game 4. So like, say you're down, say you're down 2-1 or 0-3, you gotta
you know,
get a map you're confident in. Say you're leading, you really entrench yourself in front. Um, you obviously want to put the maps you're better at earlier in the series because there's a better chance that you play them. Like you can't save your best map for game 7.
right,
That's a
yep.
dumb thing. Um, yeah, I don't think colors matter. They might, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I always wonder. Like back
Um,
in the day, that was a huge color was a huge discussion, right? Like
yeah,
you remember some pub maps, it was like insanely favored in terms of red versus blue.
yeah, but those are pubs too.
Well, and even in competitive, like season 10, when I played against Tancher's team in the Nooper, it was like one of our games was on Emerald was one of our maps, and like red won 55%, which was a pretty statistically significant amount. Like during the comp season on Emerald. So we picked red 1357, so we could play Emerald on red. So
Just
there's maybe something there.
my thinking, my number 4 thing comes from penalty kicks in soccer because I always think like in penalty kicks you want the good guys going first, but the one that's got the most pressure on it are the ones that are later on
Yep,
that you're still guaranteed to have happen. And
yep,
I always just think you want to have a comfortable map early on, but especially like that that 3 and 4 once you're already into it and you can already feel each other out, but at the same time you don't have to. Yeah, you never leave. I think teams know by now, don't leave your best map for last. That sounds
yeah.
I but I
I
feel
mean,
it needs to be said. You never know.
for me, ideally, I always hated playing our best map at game one because like there is
Yeah,
a little
because
bit of nerves, there is a little bit of feeling out, and it's like it's so easy to lose that first game, and it's like I
and
don't
then you
want to.
think, oh shit.
That
Yeah,
was
you
our
think, oh
game to
shit,
take.
they
Yeah,
just beat us on our best map. Yeah.
yeah. So I always kind of thought like just put a map maybe not your best or that it's your favorite, but
But yeah, maybe
a
your
map
second or
that you
third
know.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So
Beast claims that home maps need to come back to make pick ban matter again.
I don't know if that's
Well,
true, but I love home maps, dude. So
if we put Mapache in, everything is. Ooh, here would be the fun thing: is the true test of Tag Pro skill putting in some new maps for playoffs.
people would
It's only
riot.
it's only half joking. I mean, yeah, you get some rioting for sure, but that
hundred
would be
percent.
everyone, it's a scam. They know that map better than we do. What are we at? I don't want to take up too much of the movie time.
We're 51 minutes, dude.
All right, I think that's
That's
good.
about right.
You'll be back at full strength next week for some interesting playoff with some major playoff implications. I think are on the line in this first week.
I think crazy take, but moving forward, I think every week from here on out is major playoff implications.
There might be some involved. Yeah, we'll see. TBD, TBD.
TBD. All right. One more shout out to Way of Pains. Just one more
And to
shout out.
furballers,
What could have been? Well,
just you know,
maybe less so for ballers, but what could
yeah,
have been with Way of
half
Pains? Half
half
shout out.
half a shout out to furballers, and then a full shout out to Way of
They
Pains.
tried. Yeah.
Like lads, keep your heads held high.
Yes. Oh no. 100%. Would love to see CT come back for his junior season and pop off again.
Well, this next coming season, I feel like you'd get some better participation than the straight summer season. But you never know. Football obviously plays a role for some folks.
Well, I hear rumors that the calendar might be shifting to accommodate.
Hallelujah. There should really only be like 2 seasons in a year. I don't
Yeah.
care. Make the seasons longer. Have some nutrition. We'll get some CRC members involved. That's what we need.
Yep. We'll see. All right.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Appreciate your
Coops.
time.
Yep. Thanks for the time, Coops. We'll see you next week. All right. Stream. Thank you very much. Really excited for the playoffs. Should get the matchups formalized in the next couple of days. I'll have, I guess I'll have a majors stream, POV stream on Sunday. So tune in for that, and obviously clutch time the following Monday. So see you guys next time, and enjoy the rest of your week.